Well, now the analysis of the operational situation on the Orikhiv direction of the front. The enemy is becoming more aggressive here as well. In the Orikhiv direction, the defense forces successfully stopped 4 enemy attacks. The enemy attempted to advance towards the settlements of Shcherbaki, Lobkova, and Kupiansk. They are suffering and actually surviving attacks from Russian drones. Residents of 3 villages in the Kushuhum community of the Zaporizhzhia region say that enemy hardware flies at them both day and night. The Russians are targeting energy infrastructure and hunting civilians. People are being asked to go outside as rarely as possible. But the locals still plant gardens to the sound of explosions. Journalist Kira Ovis from TSN will tell you more about everything.
They suddenly fly out and buzz like mad wasps. This is exactly how a resident describes the attack of Russian drones on the village of Kushuhum.
Very loud, very dangerous. Very loud, very dangerous because they started reaching us in the pre-drone era. It has become dangerous to walk the streets. Elena. With
The warming summer residents and inhabitants of the Kushuhum community are increasingly busy in their gardens, although they admit it is dangerous. Elena recalls how one day she and her husband were almost attacked by a Russian EFPV drone. We hear it buzzing.
We hear it buzzing. My husband shouts drone. I, of course, quickly ran into the house and my husband hid behind a large piece of wood. It hovered for a while and then suddenly flew back. And as far as I know, it later got tangled in some wires.
But Irina only goes out into the yard with her dog. She says he is the first to hear when a drone approaches. And it starts.
He starts to approach, begins to cry, and we go because we know something is going to happen. We lock ourselves in, our dog rushes out, they fly both day and night.
But the main target of the Russian terrorists is the community's critical infrastructure. Recently, a swarm of enemy drones attacked an energy facility and people were left without power for almost a week. There was no room in the points of invincibility, not even an apple could fall.
In the first 2 days, 50 people came in at once and set up about 70 of their gadgets. And our transformer burned out. Thank God we have a spare one.
They were sitting everywhere. They not only charged their devices, but also worked. They came with laptops.
Children were studying probably, right?
Children were studying. Those who work remotely, for example, in the city of Zaporizhzhia. They needed it. They came here. We have internet.
The energy workers were operating in extremely dangerous conditions because the Russians were conducting repeated raids.
They are doing great. And real heroes today. Because they are working under drones. While they were working this week, they were bombed, roughly speaking, about 10 times.
In the 3 frontline villages of the Kushuhum community, 12,000 people currently reside. So far, there has been no mandatory evacuation of children announced here. However, some parents are taking their little ones to relatives if possible.
After all these arrivals, strong explosions, yes, we took the child to a safer place, to the grandparents. It's very scary. The child was very frightened. And we, even though we are adults, find it very difficult. It's very audible. They have been flying recently, even during the day.
The community is asking people to limit their time spent outside. As a safety measure, mass events are prohibited in the villages. However, people say spring has come, so despite the enemy, they will still plant their gardens.
And now let's move to the Kupiansk and Lyman directions of the front. The bloody bacchanalia of the enemy's army continues. And here, in the Kupiansk direction, the enemy 25 times assaulted the positions of Ukrainian units. In the areas of Stepna Novoselka, Zarizove, and in the directions of Petropavlivka, Pishchanove, Nova Krugliakivka, Bohuslavka. Additionally, there are 19 more combat encounters ongoing. In the Lyman direction, today, the aggressor attacked 27 times in the areas of populated localities. Nadezhda, Kolodets, Mirna, Yampolivka, and in the directions of Novoserhivka, Novo, Olhovka, Dronivka, Grigorivka. Currently, there are 10 more combat encounters ongoing. And now about the true heroes of this terrible war. For example, the youngest hero of Ukraine among the border guards. Vladik Stepanchuk is only 19. But in a critical situation, it was he who showed his iron will and saved lives. 21 comrades leading them out of the Russian semi-encirclement. How did all this happen? Correspondent Anna Makno from KTSN will tell us.
When they said it was my Vladik, I was just in shock.
He was just in shock.
Surprised teachers and proud instructors of the Border Service Academy.
It's very pleasing that in our service and in Ukraine in general, we have such youth.
And he speaks about himself simply.
My name is Vladik. I just turned 19.
The title of Hero of Ukraine and the Order of the Golden Star, border guard Vladik Stepanchuk received for what he did at 18 in October 2024 near the Russian border.
At that moment, he took command of the military personnel, so that the enemy could not surround them, could not capture them. Thanks to his actions, 21 military personnel were saved.
Vladik volunteered as soon as he reached adulthood. He submitted a report at the Border Service Academy, having studied there for a year after the military lyceum. I, of course, asked him, argued, cried, but he said, "This is my decision. I have decided I am a man. This is my duty." His parents are also military personnel. His father has been defending Ukraine since 2015. Despite the anxiety, they supported their son. He served in several directions. Vladik says he realized what war is after his very first combat mission.
This is no longer training. This is truly war where people die.
That day, his unit was setting up positions near the Russian border, and suddenly a crazy shelling began. 2 comrades were seriously wounded.
The bleeding was severe.
When the enemy got too close, they received the order to retreat, and then communication was lost. To help the wounded, they went into the forest strip and met comrades from an adjacent position. They were all older than him, some almost 3 times his age.
They were a bit disoriented. They were also under heavy shelling. Everyone was in a panic, just like me. I saw that no one could start making any decisions.
To devise the safest escape plan, he recalled everything he was taught at the Lyceum and Academy.
We had automatic rifles, and a few guys had grenades. We took up a defensive position, started fighting back, and were in a semi-encirclement. And I realized that we just needed to move with combat.
Simultaneously, we restored communication and helped the wounded.
We took them by the arm and started moving quickly. We were covered by the adjacent guys we met. When I started to realize that they were almost shooting at us from behind, I understood that no, we needed to retreat quickly from here.
Thanks to the right decisions, Vladik and 22 border guards managed to reach their positions in a few hours.
Everyone, like little children, was just very happy to have survived.
Vlad's family knew there was a difficult situation, but they didn't guess what exactly had happened. Vladik always says that everything is fine, don't worry. They learned more only when they saw their son's name in the presidential decree awarding the title of Hero of Ukraine. Vlad's father had just arrived on vacation at that time.
He didn't believe it. He kept rereading it. He tells me, "Marina, but you understand there is no higher award than this." He was very proud.
Indeed, he was very proud. And I sit.
I still can't understand for a long time what's happening. What is this all about? I couldn't understand why.
They were stunned, at his school as well. They themselves are learning from Vladislav.
This is my student, Vladik. He is a hero of Ukraine. I couldn't believe that an 18-year-old child volunteered and managed to organize all of this. And to lead out such a number of our guys.
And the academy.
Pride. Everyone at the academy was in such a positive shock.
But Vladik himself believes that it is a collective award, because if his comrades hadn't acted in unison, it could have ended in captivity and death. He notes that everyone who is now defending Ukraine is a hero.
I believe that everyone should go and defend what is most precious to them. Their family, their country, their land.
That's all for today, but very soon on the Front News program. New, unique materials from our journalists from the hottest spots of the war, obtained so that you know the truth. This was Vladik Timoshenko with you. Take care of yourself and your loved ones.